Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by asking you a simple but life-changing question. If you want things to change, how willing are you to change yourself? You see, most people spend their entire lives wishing for better circumstances, hoping for luck, praying for opportunity. But they forget the most powerful force that can transform everything themselves. The real magic in life isn't found in trying to change the government, the economy, or the weather. It's found in changing you. Because when you grow, everything around you grows. When you develop, your income develops. Your relationships improve, your influence expands. The personal development is the secret ingredient that turns ordinary lives into extraordinary legacies. I learned long ago that if you want more, you have to become more. Success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become. If you want to have more, you have to first be more. Personal development gives you the power to take full responsibility for your life. To say, I will not wait for circumstances. I will create them. It gives you the discipline to control your habits, the wisdom to sharpen your skills, the vision to set bigger goals, and the strength to endure challenges. And the beautiful part is anyone can start. No matter your background, no matter your age, no matter your failures. The moment you commit to growing yourself is the moment your whole world begins to shift. Life always presents us with opportunities wrapped inside responsibilities. Every day, a person wakes up with choices laid before them like seeds ready for planting. Some choose to blame the weather, the economy, their parents, their spouse, or their circumstances. They point fingers at everything outside of themselves, as if the steering wheel of their life has been handed to forces they cannot control. But the truth has always been simple and powerful. The day you take full responsibility for your life is the day you begin to take full control of your destiny. Responsibility is not a burden. It is a gift. It's the most liberating moment of your life when you say to yourself, no more excuses. No more waiting for someone else to change. No more depending on the government, my boss, or my family to make things better for me. From this moment forward, I am the architect of my future. This realization is the first spark of personal development. It's the quiet revolution that happens inside the decision to accept that where you are is a result of who you are, and where you go will be determined by who you become. Too many people wait for conditions to improve before they act. They say, if only the economy got better, if only my boss promoted me, if only I had a better start, then I could finally live the life I desire. But life does not respond to these if-onlys. Life responds to personal responsibility. Life responds to the person who says, let me first improve myself, and the rest will follow. Because when you change, everything changes. Imagine a farmer standing in his field. The ground doesn't care who he is, where he came from, or what his intentions are. The soil only responds to the seeds he plants, the care he gives, the discipline he applies. Life is like that field. It is neutral, fair, and just. If you plant weeds, you get weeds. If you plant corn, you get corn. But many plant no seeds at all and wonder why nothing grows. Taking responsibility means understanding that the field is yours. The seeds are yours. The harvest is yours. If you plant wisely, you harvest abundantly. If you neglect your field, the nature provides its own growth. And weeds always seem to grow faster than corn. Personal development starts with this one decision: I am responsible. Responsible for my thoughts. Responsible for my actions. Responsible for my habits. Responsible for my future. This doesn't mean life won't throw challenge your way. Storms will come. Droughts may hit. But the responsible person prepares for the storm, stores water for the drought, and refuses to allow circumstances to dictate the outcome of their harvest. Now, once you've accepted responsibility, the next secret reveals itself like the dawn after a long night. It is the understanding that you must work harder on yourself than you do on your job. This is where the magic truly begins. Many people pour every ounce of energy into their job, believing that their salary, their promotion, their financial security will come solely from their performance at work. And yes, work matters. Performance matters. But even more important is who you are becoming while you work. You see, your income rarely exceeds your personal development. Your value in the marketplace is not fixed. It grows as you grow. The world pays for value. And value is not something you are born with. It is something you cultivate. It is something you build every day. The better you become, the more valuable you are. The more skills you acquire, the more disciplined you become, the stronger your mindset grows, the more attractive you are to opportunities. Consider two people with the same job, the same title, the same responsibilities. One earns twice as much as the other. Is it because life is unfair? No. It's because one has developed themselves to a higher level. They've sharpened their communication skills, enhanced their leadership abilities, deepened their problem-solving capacity, cultivated emotional intelligence. They've read books, attended seminars, sought out mentors. They have invested in becoming more valuable. The marketplace doesn't pay you for time. It pays you for the value you bring to that time. An hour of your time can be worth $10 or $1,000, depending on what you pour into yourself. A person who studies an hour a day in their field will, within a few years, rise to the top of their profession. Not because the world has changed, but because they have changed. Some people complain that they are underpaid. But the world doesn't pay according to need, it pays according to value. Your bills don't determine your income, your skill set does. If you want to earn more, you must become more. If you want better relationships, you must become a better person. If you want greater influence, you must develop greater wisdom. This is the foundation of personal development. The job may give you a living, but your self-education gives you a fortune. Education does not stop when school ends. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. The moment you commit to becoming a student of life is the moment doors begin to open that you never knew existed. Read the books that challenge your thinking. Listen to the voices that have traveled the path before you. Attend the seminars that ignite your passion. Seek out conversations with people who stretch your vision. As you work harder on yourself, your confidence grows. And confidence is not arrogance. It is quiet assurance rooted in preparation. When you've studied, practiced, and refined your craft, you walk into situations with a calm certainty. Challenges become opportunities. Setbacks become lessons. Failures become feedback. You are no longer tossed by the waves of uncertainty because you've built a strong vessel capable of navigating the storm. Think about the difference between a person who reads one book a year versus someone who reads one book a month. In 5 years, the gap between them is enormous. The one who reads monthly has read 60 books. The other has read 5. Multiply this difference across skills, experiences, connections, and opportunities, and you see why some soar while others crawl. Personal development requires discipline. The discipline to wake up early and read. The discipline to listen when you'd rather speak. The discipline to practice when you'd rather rest. The discipline to save when you'd rather spend. The discipline to stay consistent even when results are slow. But as discipline compounds, so does your value. People often ask, what if I invest all this time and energy into myself and nothing changes? But the better question is, what if you don't? The cost of not developing yourself is far greater than the cost of discipline. A life lived without personal development is a life of unrealized potential, of doors unopened, of dreams unfulfilled. But when you make self-improvement a lifelong pursuit, you step into a realm where opportunities chase you, where growth becomes a habit, and where success becomes inevitable. Every day is a fresh chance to plant new seeds of growth. Every book you read, every skill you learn, every relationship you nurture adds another brick to the foundation of your future. You are always under construction, always refining, always evolving. And the beauty of this journey is that it never ends. There is always another level, another horizon, another peak to climb. So many people wait for motivation to strike before they act. But those who master personal development understand that motivation follows action, not the other way around. Start small if you must. Read a page. Write a paragraph. Practice for 10 minutes. Take the first step, and momentum will carry you forward. Action feeds motivation, and motivation fuels more action. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to rise higher. Environment matters. The voices you listen to, the attitudes you absorb, the examples you follow. They shape your mindset. Choose mentors who inspire, friends who uplift, and colleagues who push you to grow. You are the average of the people you spend the most time with. Surround yourself with excellence, and excellence will rub off on you. In this journey of personal development, patience is your companion. Growth does not happen overnight. Seeds planted today may take months or years to bear fruit. But trust the process. Water your seeds daily with consistent effort, protect them from the weeds of doubt, and allow time to do its work. The harvest will come, and when it does, it will exceed what you imagined. The most rewarding part of personal development is not the financial rewards, though they come. It's not the recognition or the titles, though they may arrive. The true reward is who you become in the process. A person of character, a person of wisdom, a person of resilience, a person who can stand tall in the face of adversity because you have built a foundation that no storm can shake. The world is full of people who wish for a better life. But wishes change nothing. The decisions change everything. The decision to take responsibility. The decision to work harder on yourself. The decision to never stop growing. These decisions ignite the power of personal development and open the door to a life of purpose, abundance, and fulfillment. Every journey worth taking begins with clarity. Life does not reward vague wishes or wandering desires. It responds to precision. When a person lacks vision, they drift. They wake up each morning driven by circumstances rather than purpose. The toss from one obligation to the next, reacting to the world instead of shaping it. But something powerful happens when you develop a clear vision for your life, when you sit quietly with yourself and ask, what do I truly want? Where I want to go? Who do I want to become? Clarity is the starting point of all achievement. Without it, even the best efforts are scattered like seeds blown by the wind, never taking root, never producing a harvest. A clear vision acts like a magnet. It pulls you forward even when motivation runs dry. It becomes your internal compass, guiding your decisions, aligning your actions, filtering out distractions. The person with a clear vision knows when to say yes and when to say no. They recognize which opportunities align with their purpose and which are simply detours dressed as temptations. Clarity creates focus, and focus multiplies effort. 1 hour spent with a clear objective is worth 10 hours of scattered labor. The sharper the target, the more powerful your aim. Most people spend more planning their vacations than they do designing their lives. They drift through years without ever deciding what success looks like for them. But personal development demands intentionality. It requires you to become the architect of your future, to draft the blueprint of your dreams, to construct a vision so vivid that you can see it even before it arrives. When the picture in your mind becomes more real than your current circumstances, your life begins to shift to match the image. Once the vision is clear, you must set powerful goals that transform that vision into reality. Goals are dreams with deadlines. They are the bridge between where you are and where you desire to go. A goal written down, reviewed daily, broken into actionable steps, becomes a living force that reshapes your habits, fuels your discipline, and commands your focus. Without goals, ambition remains idle like a ship with no destination, subject to every current, blown by every wind, circling aimlessly in the vast sea of potential. When setting goals, precision is your ally. Vague goals produce vague results. Instead of saying, I want to be successful, define what success looks like in clear, measurable terms. How much income do you want to earn? What kind of relationships do you desire? What level and vitality do you seek? How many people do you want to serve? When you quantify your goals, you create targets your mind can lock onto. The subconscious mind, once given clear instructions, becomes a tireless worker on your behalf, filtering information, attracting resources, connecting you with people and opportunities aligned with your objective. But even the most beautiful goals remain fantasies unless paired with a plan. Break your goals into small, actionable steps, daily discipline, weekly checkpoints, monthly reviews. Progress is made one small victory at a time. The grandest mountains are climbed by taking one step after another. Celebrate the milestones along the way. Each small achievement fuels your confidence and reinforces your belief that the vision is possible. There will be days when the excitement fades, when obstacles seem larger than your dreams, when setbacks threaten to steal your momentum. This is where personal development reveals its deeper power. A person anchored by clear goals does not retreat in the face of adversity. They adjust the sails, but never change the destination. They understand that setbacks are part of the process, not signs of failure. Persistence fueled by vision transforms obstacles into stepping stones. Success does not respond to hope or chance. It responds to those who dare to design their lives with intention, who wake each morning with purpose burning in their chest, who discipline their days to serve the goals they've set. Personal development demands that you live on purpose, not by default. But vision and goals are only part of the equation. Without self-discipline and consistency, even the clearest vision remains out of reach. Discipline is the great separator. It is the unseen force that determines whether dreams become reality or fade into regret. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. It is the muscle that strengthens your will, allowing you to master self before you seek to master anything else. Most people are controlled by their emotions. They act when they feel inspired, when conditions are perfect, when motivation strikes. But those who achieve lasting success understand that waiting for perfect conditions is a recipe for stagnation. If you wait until you feel like it, you'll wait forever. Discipline allows you to rise above feelings and act according to principles, it says. I do what's required, not what's comfortable. The power of discipline is found in small, repeated actions. Success is rarely the result of a single massive effort. It is the accumulation of consistent, disciplined behaviors compounded over time. Reading 10 pages a day, making one more sales call, waking up 30 minutes earlier, exercising daily. These small acts may seem insignificant in the moment, but compounded over months and years, they build extraordinary results. Discipline creates momentum, and momentum creates breakthroughs. Consistency is the twin sister of discipline. Anyone can act once in a while, but success belongs to those who act day after day, week after week, month after month, regardless of setbacks, distractions, or emotions. Consistency builds habits, and habits shape character. The disciplined, consistent person becomes unstoppable because they are no longer negotiating with themselves. The decision has been made, the course has been set, the actions are automatic. Imagine a stonecutter striking a massive rock. Blow after blow, nothing seems to happen. The rock remains unbroken. But with each strike, invisible cracks are forming beneath the surface. Then, with one final strike, the rock splits open. It wasn't that last strike that broke the stone. No. It was the compounded force of every strike before it. So it is with your disciplined actions. The results may not appear immediately, but every act of discipline moves you closer to your breakthrough. There will be temptations along the way. Shortcuts, distractions, offers of instant gratification. Discipline allows you to say no to the lesser in order to preserve space for the greater. It empowers you to delay pleasure today for the promise of a far greater reward tomorrow. The disciplined person understands the value of patience and the power of focus and the wisdom of long-term thinking. Sometimes the greatest test of discipline is enduring the quiet seasons, when progress feels slow, when recognition is absent, when results seem distant. In these moments, many quit. But those who persist, who trust the process, who continue to show up, to do the work, to plant the seeds, are those who eventually reap the harvest. The disciplined, consistent life always produces results, because life rewards those who do not give up. As you develop discipline, you also develop inner strength. You become the kind of person who can be trusted, with responsibilities, with opportunities, with leadership. People are drawn to those who live disciplined lives because discipline builds character, and character is magnetic. Your discipline becomes your reputation, your brand, your legacy. It signals to the world that you are dependable, focused, trustworthy, and committed. Discipline is not about perfection. You will have days when you stumble, moments when you fall short. But discipline gives you the power to get back up quickly, to realign, to continue forward without wallowing in guilt or shame. The disciplined person understands that progress is not linear, but persistence guarantees eventual success. While others are distracted, you remain focused. While others quit, you endure. While others chase comfort, you embrace challenge. And over time, the gap between the disciplined and the undisciplined widens until the results are undeniable. What once seemed extraordinary becomes your new normal because discipline has elevated your standards and your outcomes. In the end, personal development is not about learning a few tips or tricks. It is a lifelong journey of becoming, of refining, of rising to new levels of awareness, ability, and impact. The clear vision gives you direction. The powerful goals give you structure. The discipline gives you momentum. And the consistency gives you mastery. These forces work together to shape not just your achievements, but your identity. There are no shortcuts, no magic formulas, no secret hacks that replace the fundamental laws of personal growth. But there is a simple, powerful truthing. If you take responsibility, clarify your vision, set clear goals, and commit to disciplined, consistent action, you can achieve far more than you ever imagined. The person you become on this journey is the true reward because you transform into someone who doesn't merely hope for success, but commands it through who you've become. Every person who has ever walked the path of success has left behind a trail. Like footprints in the sand, their decisions, habits, and disciplines form a visible map that others can study, learn from, and follow. The beautiful truth about life is that success leaves clues. No one has to stumble through the darkness, guessing their way forward, hoping to invent success from scratch. The road has already been paved by those who came before. And one of the wisest steps anyone can take on the journey of personal development is to find mentors and models of success who illuminate the way. There is great power in learning from those who have already achieved what you desire. A mentor can compress decades of experience into days of wisdom. What took them years of trial, error, and costly mistakes can be offered to you in a single conversation, a single book, a single lesson. When you allow yourself to sit at the feet of wisdom, you borrow time, you avoid pitfalls that others fell into, you leverage insights that took them years to earn. You move faster, stronger, and with far greater confidence because you are not building blindly, but with the guidance of experience. Mentorship doesn't always require a personal relationship. Some of the greatest mentors you will ever meet live within the pages of books. Their voices echo through recordings, speeches, seminars, and written words. When you pick up a book written by a master of their craft, you step into their mind. You access their thought patterns, their mistakes, their strategies, and their philosophies. And as you absorb their insights, you expand your own understanding. It has been said that the person you become in 5 years will be determined by 2 things: the people you associate with and the books you read. Choose both with great care. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to rise higher, who encourage your growth, who model integrity, discipline, and wisdom. Study the lives of those who have built lasting success. Analyze how they think, how they make decisions, how they handle adversity. Learn their habits, adopt their discipline, apply their principles. Mentors also provide something priceless: perspective. In moments of uncertainty, fear, or discouragement, a mentor can offer clarity, reminding you of the bigger picture. They can see the angles you might miss because they have stood where you stand and walked where you wish to go. Their perspective cuts through confusion and replaces it with confidence. But learning from mentors requires humility. You must be willing to admit you don't know everything. You must approach each conversation, each book, each lesson with an open heart and a teachable spirit. The arrogant resist correction, the wise seek it. The more willing you are to learn, the faster you will grow. In the journey of personal development, pride is the enemy of progress. It whispers that you already know enough, that you don't need advice, that you can figure it out alone. But the humble understand that wisdom is abundant and that every person you meet has something valuable to teach you. Even the mistakes of others can become your teachers if you are wise enough to observe and learn. Mentors not only show you the path, they inspire you to believe that it is possible. When you see someone who once stood where you now stand, who faced the same doubts, who overcame the same fears, who conquered the same obstacles, you begin to believe that you too can rise. Their story becomes fuel for your journey. Their triumphs become your hope. Their breakthroughs become your possibilities. But mentors can only offer you the map. You must still walk the path. They can show you where the gold lies buried, but you must pick up the shovel and dig. The responsibility for your growth remains yours alone. No mentor can give you discipline or inject you with desire or force you to act. They can only equip you with tools. You must wield them. The highest compliment you can give a mentor is not praise or flattery. It is application. To take what they teach, put it into practice, to build upon their wisdom and carry it forward into your own life. That is the ultimate honor. As you apply what you learn, you not only transform your life, but you position yourself to one day become a mentor to others, continuing the beautiful cycle of growth and wisdom. And yet, even with mentors, even with discipline, even with clarity of vision and powerful goals, there remains one more principle that ties everything together. One truth that becomes the very heartbeat of lasting personal development. That truth is the commitment to continuous learning and adaptability. The world is in constant motion. Industries shift, technologies evolve, markets fluctuate, trends emerge and fade. What worked yesterday may be obsolete tomorrow. The person who anchors themselves solely to what they once knew, who resists change, who fears new knowledge, who clings to old habits, they slowly become irrelevant. But the person who commits to lifelong learning remains forever valuable, forever relevant, forever growing. Continuous learning is not a phase, it is a mindset. It is the understanding that there is always more to know, more to master, more to discover. It is waking up each day with the attitude of a student, eager to gather new insights, to sharpen old skills, to challenge old assumptions, to expand beyond yesterday's limitations. Learning keeps your mind alive, sharp, and vibrant. It fuels your creativity, expands your problem-solving capacity, and opens doors you never knew existed. The more you learn, the more connections you make between ideas, the more innovative your thinking becomes. You see possibilities where others see problems. You find solutions where others see obstacles. Learning multiplies your perspective and elevates your thinking. Adaptability is the companion of continuous learning. As you grow, you develop the flexibility to pivot when necessary, to adjust your course without abandoning your destination. The rigid break under pressure, the flexible bend and endure. Life will always bring unexpected challenges. Plans will sometimes fail. Strategies may need revision. But the adaptable person remains steady because they are not attached to methods. They are committed to outcomes. In the world of business, careers, relationships, and personal goals, those who thrive are not always the strongest or the fastest, but the most adaptable. They observe changing conditions, they listen to feedback, they evaluate new information, and they make wise adjustments. Adaptability allows you to remain effective in an ever-changing world. Continuous learning also protects you from arrogance. The more you know, the more you realize how much you don't know. This humility keeps you grounded, curious, and hungry for more. It prevents stagnation and fuels your ongoing development. The moment you believe have arrived is the moment you begin to decline. Growth is never finished. Mastery is never fully complete. Make learning a daily habit. Read widely, not just in your field, but across disciplines. Expose yourself to new ideas and cultures, new ways of thinking. Ask questions. Listen intently. Engage in conversations that challenge your perspectives. Seek out experiences that stretch you. Attend seminars, workshops, and courses that expand your skills. Surround yourself with people who inspire you to keep learning. The world belongs to those who outgrow their former selves. As you continue to learn, you rise to new levels of understanding, of contribution, of influence. You become a person who is not only successful but wise. You carry a presence that others respect, not because of your titles or possessions, but because of your depth, your insight, and your ongoing commitment to becoming more. And in this journey of lifelong learning and adaptability, you will discover something beautiful. You are no longer merely chasing success, you are living a life of significance. You become a person who not only achieves but inspires. A person who lifts others as you climb. A person whose growth becomes a gift to your family, your community, and the world around you. Personal development is not a destination. It is a way of life. It begins the moment you take responsibility for your life. It gains momentum when you work harder on yourself than you do on your job. It takes shape when you clarify your vision and set powerful goals. It strengthens through discipline and consistency. It accelerates through mentors and models of success. And it sustains itself through continuous learning and adaptability. The person who lives by these principles does not leave their future to chance. They create their future with intention. They do not hope for a better life, they build it. They do not shrink from challenges. They embrace them. They do not settle for average. They rise to excellence. And as they grow, they experience the most powerful truth of all, that the greatest reward is not what they achieve, but who they become in the process.